pole pole aipe mwikwa kosa kumulimi kwa nyanje nikale tuwa kumva alayire papa chechi yeno da pole pole naoni toshiye nanga ya isa kuno chano yali mwikende papa shama tukumabai emakaba tukutalose lwai manwa bakani nati tatosumina munganga fwebe na leza mungamba chechi yose yaima ya bakani nati ukusumina munganga fwebe na leza lisambi lelo kwena kulekana kamusumine pole pole bafwila kuchitandala mwikuma lelo kwena kulekana kamusumine pole pole bafwila kuchitandala mwikuma achizo chabale bale kabayibo kumimwe bakulu bakiani chimeba ichichena papeliko chichi chya pole pole ino balyakwe Winashente kalesa mweba nensu Neta tabemwa Alasebra nyeligirine ni papenso yaban Ushente kalesa mweba nensu Neta tabemwa Alasebra nyeligirine ni papenso yaban Yatitile munyina humbe Koni palenshi Alendisa titapepa foka Banakwe Chiraka chamu waka chamu chita Uyo aima mwirumba Ushoko dukuno luwa kisasa Asondeka Lulwa mulumino ashina Aposamo Mulitumba wetolo shija kweli Yalafuka Maria ekele Abanangwe Bamoni chushi Yalafuka Mwitolo shipeta Apo ekele Abanangwe Bamoni chushi Yalafuka Mwitolo shipeta Nishani tata Bamulepya Kamufile Kukwimini na mwaka ya mula Mwitolo shipeta Nishani tata Bamulepya Kamufile Kukwimini na mwaka ya mula Mwitolo shipeta Wakizo cha mwaka kadina Kwa mkutule Satame kwa ime mamumina Wakula sebana Kasha waba pole pole mle ufwa Bali macheche odala kusasa Naiba kuichi habo konsula shikumu hamaka Lelo Bali kwete romba kumana Bali naba kashima habo kutila Bali na ile rombo ukwali Bali Kabwata rara Nilio bali tela Abakashi Bali kiteto Nilionse Hawe mpaka Kuikala Wasuka balo pachuti Wakuchuku Mkolepo pia walamona Wafiashi kukushi Chachi nilio baile Bashi nilio nefunde Kubano kupale na yobwali Yofi Abana wale shite yofi Baka wani sande Mawishiwe wale shimikira mchechi Abana tabayi yuko hiyo Numa kuno bashiele Bana biwa mkute yechi yenga Makalila kasitaka ya kale para mamukufuma Ele wayukusati ye Katina hiyo kwa viferi Eto bashile bale wa bakali viferi wa bako Ekuya na yo kwali wa mulukino Nokuya iti ya kuchini nibula kumine nishina mkaba Ilomba liambo ukya Wabisa pole pole kwa mchechi Ilelo malilebya bachi wabize baleti mkayata mweba mwatafumanga Numa bambo kulanda Napya uko Napya uko Awengevi Bapole pole bapole Bapiro mbakunga Kuna yamu Aba chechi baima Kutuwae kunganda Wae mkwe baba natishiwe Afwa Abana nabo kunganda baima Kutuwae bashibu hati Kunganda feni Nafwa Wakumalina mwanshida Sole Nabandanga Baremrenda Chawa wisona bafwa Babaji hao twakiza tibebe kwenda kunando kuna kwapo chimo Bebe nziki ya chimona Kuya sanga chachine Ichiri lomba Wabantu wapa kwa febele Banereza tewa kuwepa iyo Nikale tuwa bali yokufa echieno da pole pole nanga ya isamuno chiado yali mwikende papa shabantu kumabayi emakaba chechi yonse yaima yabakadi nati nakasumina munganga fwebe na lesa lisambe nalelo kwena kulekana namusumine bapole pole bafwela kutitandala Akinso jabale bale nabayi kumwe abakulu bakiyali kibera nishishera mabeni tiji kyali apole pole ndilomba yakwe biraza bakikabane twali bishoto bose musaba cheche ndamowa ino mali nokushimamo munamubire cheche ndapenisho binga mwabaye cheche abaliko kubana mabyabe
Hello. Good evening, Chiwempala. Good evening, world. Good evening, Zambia. My name is Elias Munsha here, and with me is Mwelwa Emtanisha, who is celebrating her birthday. Now, we are not going to ask how old she's turning, because apparently you never ask a lady how old they are turning, but I can guess. Now, I don't want to guess either, because it's bad manners to begin guessing things. Just in case you guess wrong. And so happy birthday, Mwelwa. Thank you for joining us this evening.
Thank you so much.
Are you going to tell us how old you are turning?
I'm turning 16.
All right, I think 16, right? Yeah, I think 16.
That's where I plateaued at 16.
Right, and so we're going to take that. So we have a lot that we are going to talk about today, and so please stay tuned. I know that Mwelwa has something to tell us, and then I'm going to come up and join in later. Mukeleba, welcome to our show tonight.
Thank you. Good evening. Thank you so much. Happy birthday, my sister. How are you?
I'm okay, thanks. Thank you, Mr. Mukeleba.
We are going to sing a song for you after the program.
Okay. All right.
All right. So what is new today, Mwelwa? Please just run us around whatever is new and that is happening, and then I am coming back shortly.
Okay. So I think I'm sure one of the confirmed things that have happened today is that the by-election in Kabwata has been cancelled by the ECZ. So I think we're yet to hear a lot more information, because I think it has happened due to the fact that the UPP aspiring candidate has pulled out. He initially withdrew, and then he resigned today. So I think that has some legal implications, and ECZ has had to pull out, has had to make that announcement this afternoon that they have cancelled the election and no more campaigns are happening. So maybe a little peace of mind for us. There's no noise today. Sad and probably a little happy as well by the silence that's going on. Other news, I think there's a bit, well, this is a rumor, so it's not yet confirmed that our bulldozer has had a bit of a challenge or a confirmation that the offspring are his. So we're yet to confirm that equally, because I think at the moment it's just rumor based online. But I don't know if there's anything else that I'm missing. Anything else?
I'm just happy though with that rumor, because there's no smoke without fire. So we are yet to find out what will come out, official information. But I just hope that he does not petition to the Constitutional Court over the DNA. Anyway, it's a quite
or deliver a letter of appeal to know the details of the DNA and how the tests were done.
Anyway, the thing is, it's a sad development about. It is a sad development on the issue of the Kabwata by-election being cancelled. But if you remember very well, with a previous program that we were discussed, I personally just said that there is something here that is not, that we are going to maybe probably say that there was some kind of sabotage. And we are yet to find out, because we know that this gentleman who came up with that excuse or the resignation, we know that he didn't come in with a good heart, and he knew that we are going to find out his intentions very soon. Yeah. How can someone resign? Pull out and resign after being advised, just go and resign. So we know that there are some people, there's a third hand that was in this, and we should not play such kind of politics. Otherwise, this is what it takes also when you have the supreme law of the land with so many loopholes. So we need lacunas. We need to actually look into this and sort out specific issues, not PF at Bill 10. Specific issues as they come.
All right, thank you very much. And we have Mr. Patrick Chilufya. Thank you for joining us this evening. Chilufya, we have a very, very short agenda tonight. At exactly 22 hours, we are getting into another program, which is AC One-on-One with Dr. Jones Kasonso, where we discuss issues of economics and development and things like that. However, for now, between now and 22 hours, here we are. A lot has happened in Zambia, and so we just want to touch base and comment on it. On the Kawata by-election, it's very, very sad, and I am extremely concerned that the ECZ decided to cancel the Kawata by-election. The reason why I am concerned is that where the ECZ has interpreted that particular constitution provision, which is, I believe, is Article 56, is very concerning. And the reason why I am objecting to such kind of an interpretation is that the issue of a candidate either resigning or withdrawing or anything like that has got everything to do with the general election. That provision applies only to the general election. It cannot apply to a by-election, because a by-election is there to try and cover something that happened during a general election. And so you cannot use the same rules, the same limitations that are happening. You can't use the same ones. That is where my concern is here. I think what is needed to be done is the election must continue. If a candidate withdraws or resigns or anything like that, the by-election must still be held. Otherwise, we are going to continue having a loop, which means you can literally have a situation where a candidate is resigning or withdrawing or whatever it is that they can do until the life of the parliament is over. If we take the literal interpretation of what they are saying, it should be. Yeah, which is something that I disagree with. I know that there is this is more like lawyer talk in the sense that we could argue the whole night here, but that is quite concerning, the way they have interpreted that particular provision.
They've set a very terrible precedent, Bamush. Just hope that the Constitutional Court can come in, or the judges can come in and interpret, because I know they are also trying to follow instructions or whatever, but they should have gotten, first of all, proper legal advice from either the Attorney General or within the Electoral Commission. They have the commissioner themselves. They are well-learned people, and it's written. It's a constitution. It's in black and white. I don't understand why should we have this different interpretation over something that is straightforward. They should have maybe gone to even John Sangwa, who is the constitutional lawyer, to ask on the interpretation on what it is.
Yeah. What I think is happening is they just went to the. I wouldn't be surprised if they did not consult the Attorney General. Maybe they did, and indeed, maybe the Attorney General just told them, or the Solicitor General just told them, guys, this is what the Constitution says. Go ahead and cancel it. We may never know. But perhaps, as you mentioned, Bomke, this is one of the areas in the Constitution that need a little bit of fine-tuning. I hope that we are going to twaliperesha tulefu okuwafuirisha ekyalo ngakulemba nangukulembulula nangukuchitefiri vyonse pakuba we deal with some of these issues tevyo fine bamwelwa bushite twaiperesha.
Good twaiperesha. I think that one is not a problem, but I think I say this reservedly, but I keep thinking that our our legal profession, I think, is letting us down on a lot of fronts, especially with these lacunas. Because I'm asking myself, when these laws are being put in place, and okay, so for example, the confusion I had earlier on was he withdraws. That's okay because you applied to stand. So why then come back and resign? Were you employed? You know, so there are all these little things that I'm constantly confused about. And now when I look back at Ziale claiming that at the past Shavantu because sometimes things like their English is not okay, I'm thinking, okay, I think that woman now has a point. I think we need a lot of cleaning up.
No.
Okay.
No, but Mwelwa, this constitution has been written by Ziale graduates. That's why
I'm saying they've let us down to an extent.
So this has been written by Ziale graduates. This has been written by Zambian lawyers. But you cannot just blame Zambian lawyers. I think Limbi politician tabomfwa. I would assume that Limbiama lawyers balavevo kwebati if imwamba kokubika mu constitution fiama dongo, but they don't listen because in the end the lawyers are there to draft. They can draft anything, but if our parliament, our lawmakers decide ukupanga constitution ya madongo, that's it. So it's not actually the document that is drafted by the lawyers that becomes our constitution, contrary to popular beliefs.
Yeah.
Lawyers have a role to draft it. They are technocrats. But the people who actually pass the constitution is parliament. And so parliament may decide to change words that the lawyers have used and substitute it with its own language. So apart two, I'm a parliamentarian power 3. And whatever parliament passes becomes law. So who are we going to blame? Some people are saying that Constitution 2016, what happened was the technocrats had worked on the draft, and after they work on the draft, they then sent it to Parliament. But Parliament, baria mukufuniamo, you know, whether it was Parliament or it was the Edgar Lungu administration, baria funiamo, and ukufuniamo not in a way that makes sense. No. Baria fumamo in a way, what kusuna coffee, you know, ninkwata bread up and mashire for you sevana if you're gana milange if you're breaded. But what in bread? elo number all the parts that they did not like baya basuna sunako, basuna sunako bafunyako, and then they passed a law yakwatna ikwata ama gaps. Are we going to blame lawyers on that one? I think we are going to blame parliament. And so in order to cure this, parliament should quickly act, cure all these things that are not making sense from our constitution. I hope that is going to help. Bachilofia.
Yeah, Bamusha, I'm so disappointed, and these lacunas, Bamusha, they were deliberately created. 2016 constitution is a fraud because Bamusha Malolesha, before 2016, you only needed a simple majority to remove the immunity. Let's change it. So now they've made it so difficult to remove the immunity of a president, which was so easy before. And then Bamunsha, there's so many things. No, Bamunsha, on this one, which means Kawata, they can just be buffering nominations. 1 month, withdraw. Until now, how much is that going to cost the government? Because they can sabotage the government. It's very Bamusha.
Right.
There are students who don't have money to go to university. They cannot go.
Now, even the reasons for resigning, because
that's the point Vamusha was trying to come to. Because Vamusha, when you go into court, whichever court, you have to go in good faith. Did this person resigned in good faith?
Yeah. No.
Over to you, Vamusha.
There is no resignation in good faith here, and that's a thing. Imwemwetuma political parties tuntemba political parties. Stop playing with Zambian democracy, please. I think we just need to ban all the tuntemba political parties because they are causing mayhem, they are causing confusion, they are destroying our country. Mwetuntemba. Because where are you going to be? You are a Kantemba political party, quite all right. Our constitution and our people protect you and respect you. And then when it comes to a very critical time, you decide to sabotage democracy in our country by coming up with very flimsy excuses, like this gentleman, Pantutalanda Ichinyanja Bwino, Mwamukana. Mwebaume, citizenship in Zambia has got nothing to do with your accent of how you speak Nyanja or Bemba. Absolutely none. Citizenship is conferred on citizens in Zambia by law. It is the law. The law respects no accent, no color, no creed, no tribe, no height. But imagine if the constitution in Zambia decided to cover bonse mwebe pi tamwakabama citizens, I'll be the only citizen. Bantu bonse mwebe pi, you can't. So in the name tadi, I'll be the only citizen in our country. But that is not how the law does it. The law confers citizenship on everybody, anybody, not at mule mukuchonga accent ya muntu. And then on that basis, you decide to betray the people of Kabwata. Life this government is trying very hard, extremely hard, working hard for our people. The UPND government, 25.7 million kwacha CDF, shaingira. 30,000 new teachers. Baingira. Ni choko feika shota no kushota. Choko yala shota. 30,000 new teachers. 11,000 new health workers. And then on that, this candidate in Kabwata from a Nashala Neka Kantemba Party decides to betray the people of Kabwata using the excuse that yom kwayo yumuntu nicho talanda bwinwech nyanja. What kind of stuff is that? You know, we can't tolerate that. Never. We are not saying that we don't like you Mwetuntemba political parties, but please think about this. Anybody can go and buy of these candidates into Ntemba parties and betray the election, the legitimate election that is supposed to take place in Kawata. Even by ECZ name, where you should have just said, no, this is a by-election, we are not going to respect that. You know, because this is a complete waste of national resources, meager resources from the Electoral Commission of Zambia. If our country, our people were hiding money, but PF were hiding money in Faith Musonda's bedroom. Bedroom, mwifungulia bedi ya kwa Faith Musonda. Baali ya poke mpia, bashi sange mpia. Money was being wasted. We want to do very well with our resources. And then one candidate in Kabwata decides to say, I'm going to throw all this under the table. It does not matter. And this is completely intolerable. Nimfulwa sana. Bamwelwa. Bushe nimfulwa nangu nshifulirwe.
No, I think because obviously it exposes quite a lot. And I feel irritated about it, but at the same time, I'm a little happy because I think it has exposed the holes we don't want carrying on forward. Because I think if we had carried on with this in line, so he resigns today and tomorrow he comes up and another one does it, I think this automatically tells us to begin thinking and correcting these problems. I just don't know at what point these lacunas need to be dealt with as soon as, because I'm also equally now conscious about the fact that I'll go back again to the lawyers, unfortunately. Is that are the lawyers so weak that they are overrun by politicians? And is our law so porous that instead of going through a lawyer who is qualified, it was going through these politicians who could, nitpick what they wanted here and there? And it opens up your mind and it warns you to say, I think there are a lot of loopholes in places there shouldn't be loopholes. And it should make us angry, I think, as a nation, because like as of now, okay, it now means more money is going to be wasted. It equally means that political parties have to, I am now wondering, do they need to fork out more money when they come and reapply for these positions? It's a lot of things at play.
Yeah.
It really exposes us.
Again, because of the system of our government, we are not a technocracy, which means that it's not actually what the technocrats say that flies in Zambia. It's not the technocrats. It's actually it's not the technocrats. It's actually the political, because we're a political nation, and so our politicians matter because they are the ones who actually pass the law, the parliament, meaning the National Assembly and the president. So no matter how good a constitution our lawyers draft, if these politicians don't want it, they're not going to pass it. Or if they pass it, they're going to go ukuya sunako, kufunyako efintu. Instead yakobati fintu, it's passed as one whole piece. Sunako.
So should we blame our former parliamentarians?
Yeah.
In this case?
Yes. Badly, but it's also quite complicated. Anyway, if you are enough, Peter, we are appealing to the honorable Minister Haimbe, please. Navakateka wesu, His Excellency the President, Mr. Hakainde Hichilema. Na tubombele pali constitution wangu. Na imwebe never PF, because we are hearing all these things about PF. You are not willing to support genuine efforts at reforming because Charlie Mikalipa, you are still regretting about Bill 10. Bill 10 was pretty bad. Let's agree on that. Elo, you were defeated about Bill 10. So just be humble and be strong. Be strong, Kushipa. Bill 10 story is over. You were defeated. So now, please, for once, care about the future of this country. Let's come together as one country and reform our constitution. But if you're watching that Constitution 2016, I would disagree. What I would say is, advantages. Constitution 2016 has a lot of advantages. Utuma issues to kwete tu nono. That's why let's sit down and iron out those little problems together as one country, one nation, one Zambia, one nation. No tu kuchita fidiaba PF bale for kuchita on Bill 10. If you are basa vula fe Bill 10, iya madongo dongo, ero nababata mpoku vepa. liars, like lying all the time. Not a no. Gigantic lies, lying. So here we have a chance. Let's sit down together. Let lawyers come together. Let politicians come together, and let us iron out all these little things, these little issues in the Constitution. I hope that my independent MPs, my independent MPs, Babinwe Mpundu, na JJ Banda. I know JJ Banda, we've accused you of several things here on TV bakwetu because ama rumors to amfuire. Ukwebati JJ Banda ali ingira kapokola in a police station. But ali kanomwina ati yo mugwaye bale mu bepeshavi. So fidafiakale under the new thing imweba JJ Banda. Please support clear efforts. Na imweba MP ba kumirenge, ba MP ba kumirenge, ba Chonde Saka, ba Bluluand. Please. Efforts that are genuinely going to be proposed by the UPND government to iron out a few things in our constitution. Please support those efforts. Na imweba Bluluand ba Munia Zulu, the most controversial short MP in the history of our country. Imweba Munia Zulu tuwapapata na imwebene just follow through your promise to the people of Lumezi and do what? Support genuine dialogue over the constitution. About the constitution. Have I left out anyone?
I think my MPs, especially my independent MPs, they are supposed to act reasonably because they are doing it for the benefit of their people, not for the party. The people, the future.
Now they are angry about Bill 10, particularly the Patriotic Front, because to be defeated, when you have made a very, very powerful, what you think is a powerful document, it's like you've trained for years. 10-0. You can be bitter. Anger, bitterness. That's very, very possible. And so we are hoping that they're going to come together so that we can together reform our constitution. I'm very hopeful. My dear panelists, before we go over to, we have a surprise guest tonight. Now, this guest is a surprise guest, and we want to ask him very direct questions. First of all, we want to make it very clear that the withdrawal of the by-election in Kawata has got nothing to do with the UPND. It's because the UPND fielded a very weak candidate. No, the UPND fielded a very strong candidate. Very strong candidate. So this has nothing to do with the UPND or the presidency. It has everything to do with ECZ just deciding to follow the letter of the law when they had an alternative. Okay, that is clear. If you DNA fi inenshire fwayo kulanda popantu, I think uyu muntu bali mu bepesha mai.
Let him go to the constitutional court. Tuale mweva. Out of how many women, Mozambique, one girl comes and point how many ministers waisa sonta po muntu mati iwe ni webo wa fyalila abana bonse aba then we solanda chipuva awe kwae fisha le kwae omukashana ulia
hello all the people
wayasala mo
nishibufya shishwa kwa tobo wapita pali mupepi na Kowan Messi Kowan akwate fumo. The following after 2 years pasapita 2 kilometers eko Messi minine akwate fumo.
Messi kwate
Kowan.
Oh, awe.
The baby mama.
It's possible. So let's wait for the DNA results. Let's see them. Pantu, social media, anyone can type anything. So in
akalimbusha na akafumaka akalimbusha na akasosa.
I've always believed her. She had too many facts that would just because as a woman, a lot of us would be thinking of all the men under the sun. You just go and choose that particular man. He's not particularly bright. He's not particularly.
Baire muposhako fye mumingwe. Atiwa mukashano orishani. Every awe kanshi honorable. Nedifumo. DM. Anyway.
No, Baba Munsha. Let's put first the DNA lacunas aside. I just wanted to drop a thought here. Food for thought. Bamunsha.
Yeah.
Twalisa ili umuntu wachisa isalelo ati nakwata nombe inkarata withdrawing, reference to Article 52. Bamunsha, somebody must have looked at the Indarama to allow now.
Yeah.
Don't you tell me somebody would have said Nala Constitutional Court. This is an emergency. Let's have an emergency Constitutional Court and the Constitutional Court bachta interpret in any area.
I think
it's an emergency.
I think that question might be answered by our guest right now that I'm bringing onto the screen right now. Our guest is no other than Mr. Andrew Tayengwa himself, the UPND candidate for Kawata constituency. Mr. Tayengwa, good evening.
Good evening, Musha.
Nomba emweba Tayengwa twaliumfo kwebati ati you don't speak like the people of Kabwata. Namumfwa.
Musha, you speak a lot of Bemba, but allow me also to express myself because I'm in Lusaka. So Nyanja also, I'll be using a bit of Nyanja so that those who are listening to this program, especially people in Kamulanga, Kamulanga is one of the constituencies, one of the wards that is in Kawata constituency. So you allow me also to express myself in Nyanja so that I can accord these other people to listen to what I'm saying.
Okay, no problem. No, but Tayengwa, I'm just.
I don't speak like someone who's in Kawata. I don't think if it is true because you see, I mean, I've grown up here. I've lived all my life in Kawata. I was born here in Kawata constituency, and maybe if I were to give you a brief background about myself as Tayengwa, I was born 46 years ago. I did my high school. Primary school here in Kawata constituency. I did my high school in Kitwe. Then I came back. I went to NIPA where I did my certificate in accounting and accounting technician's diploma. Of course, I was born from Mr. and Mrs. Tayengwa. My mother is late now. She was Bisa by tribe. My father, Goba Shona, was born in Zimbabwe, but he migrated from Zimbabwe. By then, it used to be called Southern Rhodesia in 1962. Then he came into Zambia. And you know what the laws, the law which was changed, which stated that anyone who was found within the boundaries of Zambia by 1964, he was deemed to be a Zambian. So I'm a Zambian myself, and of course, I speak like somebody who is in Kawata constituency. If I'm to take you back and tell you about myself and the things that I've done in Kawata constituency, definitely that will even give you more reason why a lot of people have been crying for Tayengwa. I've done a lot of projects in Kawata constituency, even before I could even be given an opportunity to serve as a member of parliament. I sank 2 boreholes in Kawata constituency. One, I gave it to the Roman Catholic Church. Then the other one, I gave it to the community within a Gondwe compound. I'm one of the few candidates that kept on donating exercise books to community schools and private schools. I donated over 25,000 exercise books in the community. I also donated about 10 wheelchairs to the disabled, actually, in the constituency. I also.
I think I lost my connection a little bit. So with this internet, so I know that my friends managed to listen to you. Number ine from my end, I didn't. You ended at where your father is born in Southern Rhodesia and then he migrates to Zambia. What did you say there?
Okay, I said that my father was born By then, it used to be called Salisbury or Southern Rhodesia.
Yes.
He was born in 1951.
Right.
Then he migrated to Northern Rhodesia in 1962. Right. He did his primary in Kalulushi at St. Joseph, and Mr. Joseph Kawe, the late, he was one of his primary school teachers. Then he also did his secondary school at David Kawata Technical School, where he did his secondary. Then my mom, she's late. She was Bisa from Luwingu, Chief Matipa, village Shufulo. That's where my mother came from. So I'm a Zambian. I was born at UTH myself. The records are there at University Teaching Hospital, and I still have the under 5 card clinic, which I got in 46 years ago, since 1975.
Which means now, just from the facts, now, this is what happens, Andrew Tayengwa. From the facts that you have said, kuliko feedback somewhere.
We are having an echo somewhere, Ramush.
Okay, Tayengwa, could you just kindly mute yourself, and then I'll call you back again. Just mute. Okay, thank you. So you've given me facts. Facts being that your father is Goba Shona, and Goba is one of the tribes in Zambia. Goba. Imwe bantu bambiri tamwaishiba. Aba Goba are Zambian. It's a Zambian tribe, of course, with a little bit, they share a border with Zimbabwe. Goba. So his father was Goba Shona. His father was born in 1951, and then he came to Northern Rhodesia, because this was like one country. It was like the Federation of Rhodesia and Nyasaland. So having moved from Southern Rhodesia to Northern Rhodesia in 1962, and then he lives on this soil on Independence Day, 1964, according to the ruling of the Constitutional Court of the Supreme Court, in the case of Lewanika and others versus Chiruba, any person who belonged to Northern Rhodesia on 24th October 1964, they became a Zambian. Okay, so Mr. Tayengwa's father was a Zambian because as at midnight in 1964, he was among those young men and young boys. If he was born in 1951, it means in 1964 he was about 13 years old. He was a 13-year-old young boy who was moving around this this city. I don't know where he was, whether he was in Lusaka or he was in Chadiza, but wherever he was, the blessing of independence and citizenship went upon that little boy who was 13 years old in 1964. He was a Zambian, number one. Number two, Ms. Andrew Tayengwa says that his mother was Biza from Luwingu. Again, according to the law, both a man and a woman confer citizenship on their offspring equally. Fidefia alikwa kale atiyo kanofyo wiso fiakale inonshta na nokowine gives you citizenship. So what I find in Mr. Andrew Tayengwa is that he's a Zambian, just like everybody. In fact, he's more Zambian than some of these little boys who were trying to cause confusion in Kabwata. Anyway, but Tayengwa, I just needed to clarify that so that we are on the same page.
He's more Zambian than Lungu.
But Mukelabai, please. Please. Tayengwa, you can now unmute yourself. So we just needed to make that clear so that people know all these malice that was being spread was being spread by liars, was being spread by people that were malicious, and it's not going to work. Go ahead.
Okay. what I was saying is that if you look at this name Tayengwa, the reason why it has dominated in Kawata constituency, I think it's because of the many community works that I have done. I was giving you a brief background of the things that I've actually done in the constituency. I ran a Christmas tournament for 4.5 years, right in Chilenje, which attracted over 32 teams. And I managed to produce such talent like Barbara Banda, the one who plays for the national team. I think you know Barbara Banda, that female soccer lady. Then also I produced the talent of Jimmy. Jimmy who plays for Zesco. I also produced Emmanuel Banda, who plays his trade actually abroad. So I also produced some of the big names actually who are playing in what you call Zambian Super League. So meaning that when it comes to community work, I've done a lot of community work. I've worked with the churches. I've donated so many things to the churches. I've worked with the SDA. I've worked with the Pentecostal churches. I've worked with the Roman Catholic Church. And that's the reason why you find that wherever you go, my name is being called upon, or my name is more popular than any other candidate. And I wish if this election had gone ahead, I think you would have seen how Tayengwa would have pulled with a runaway margin of votes because of my popularity in Kawata constituency. Then if you, the reason why you
Imuwa Tayengwa, imuwa bululu wanpantu mulibabiza from Luwingu. Nomba umfweni. Defo ya mulande kwe chinyanja kubeni. Pakuba tabena chipata na bobomfo bwino. Pantu abena chipata umulomo wachilamo. Mwamona Batayengwa. Baku chipata vokambakamba vapakisa. Manje ine nifuna. Aren, randeni na bwabena Kabwata mchinyanja.
Ine baku Kawata ninabadwila muno mu Lusaka pa University Teaching Hospital. My records yanga yalipo na under 5 card clinic yamena tenga 46 years nilinayo muno mu nyumba. Bamai banali babisa baku Luwingu district chief Matipa village Chifulo. Batate banabadwila ku Zimbabwe in 1951. By then banali ku Itanati ku Southern Rhodesia. Then he migrated to Kubwera muno mu Zambia in 1962. So meaning that my father was found within the boundaries of Zambia by 1964, and he qualified to be called a Zambian. By the way, my father is still alive. Are you able to get me?
Accents. Manje imwe bachilufia. Mwasanga moshani muli accent ya Batayengwa.
Batayengwa balera na chinyanja kunchila bamusha. Elio, the other thing bamusha. Batayengwa has lived in Zambia more than me. So he's more Zambian than myself.
Zambian?
No, Mandela Tawafiashba ni the bonse bafiari kwira mu Zambia. But he's lived in Zambia more than myself. He's more Zambian than myself.
Yeah, you know, Bamunsha, you know, if her mother was, if his mother was from a royal establishment, you know, he could be a chief among the visas. You know, that makes him a real Zambian. The mother is a visa, and if she was from a royal establishment, Tayengwa could be a chief in northern province. The way we have Tonga chiefs in Putegurwapula. Chief.
If your topic no kuba we have Tongas who are chiefs in Wapula province. So, and the reason is simple. We are matrilineal as they come. So if I can a DNA, takwaba kulwapula. Kulibe DNA kulwapula.
Yeah, so those people who are making noise about him not being a Zambian, they are just wasting their time. And in fact, voters are not even listening to them.
Yeah.
You know?
No,
it's a matter of time Tayengwa is going to be in parliament.
So Tayengwa, I want you to know that TV Bakwetu is open for you anytime, any day. While you are campaigning, because I think you are going to do fresh nominations, and the UPND has already adopted you, anytime, come and speak to the people in Kawata using this platform. It's yours. And I'll charge you $0 for it. Zero kwacha. Zero kwacha, mwamva. Anytime that you want to speak to the people, I know today you couldn't speak too much today, but anytime that you want to speak to the people of Kawata using TV Bakwetu, you're welcome to. Because the reason is I'm very concerned with your opponent. Now, you may not be able to say it, but let me say it so that your opponent does not feel like it is you who said it. I'm the one who is saying about Clement Tembo, Nikabwalala. He's a thief. In fact, he's not a very complicated. He's a very, very common thief. Inepano, Ninena Alanda, Okobati Clement Tembo is a thief, and the people of Kawata should not even think about voting for such a person. Clement Tembo, Ewale Bulembi Impia, Shaba Lungu. Shidabape, Ewale Bulempia Shaba Lungu. No kuya muku chitashani, muku chitadonate, utusaka tuandalama. Where did Clement Tembo get that money from? I think I only have one conclusion. Clement Tembo wants to stand in Kawata so that I can say Iba CDF. 25.7 million. Ishwa Ibirena Lungu, it's not enough. He wants to still come and steal Impia Shaba, Haga in the Hichilema. 25.7 million CDF money in Kabwata. That's why we are endorsing you today, Mr. Tayengwa. Did you want to say anything?
No, I was actually thinking in the line that since he is not going to, I don't know if he's compelled to talk about the issue that transpired, or I wanted to find out on what cause of action does he take as an affected, because there were allegations in that letter, and you have already stated your facts about your and about your parentage, and you've been a Zambian, and it's so racist to me, and that letter is repugnant, and it should actually not even have been entertained, in my opinion. And I feel that you people who are affected because you have used money to campaign, you have used material, and I'm thinking to say you have a cause of action. I would suggest if there was a way of which you can petition or make up a speed petition to the court, or to reverse the decision of the ECZ for what they have done, for it has been, or you can ask for administrative justice, so that at least you hear from the, is it judicial review?
Yeah, okay.
For the decision that they have made, that it is inconsistent with the constitution, because many people are going to suffer.
Thank you. Thank you. So, Mr. Tayengwa, we hope to invite you again, and to invite yourself. Ain mukese pantu imwe. Ino ni platform yenu. Ero to amistakare na endorse. Kainshi ino TV bakwetu already endorses in Sandy Tayengwa. You are going to make a very good MP for Kabwata, and so we wish you all the best.
Thank you.
This has been a presentation of TV Bakwetu. My name is Elias Musha, and we've got to sign off here because because another program is starting right now. And we've had a surprised guest who is Mr. Andrew Tayengwa, who is going to come back again to tell us a little bit about what he intends to do for the people of Kabwata. Good night, God bless you, and God bless our country.
Good night.
Good night.
Right.